Hey babes, welcome to the very first episode of the Babe That's Bonkers podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Faria, and let me tell you, I am so excited to be here, so excited to have you here. This whole podcast project has been a long time coming. I think at this point, it's been almost 4 years since the idea first popped into my head, so it has taken me that long to muster up the courage to put myself out here on the internet and teach myself some computer software skills, just a little homemade audio engineer. But yeah, I am super excited to be here. And today's just going to be a little bit of an intro episode. We are just going to be dipping our toes into the water a little bit, so I can share who the heck I am, why I'm starting a podcast, and what to expect moving forward. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. Who am I? I'm a California native. I currently live in the southern desert of Arizona. I'm a farm girl, born and raised, so a big lover of agriculture, all things plants and animals for the most part. Over the past couple years, I have been embracing myself as an artist. As much as I love agriculture, I am also a very creative person. So I have just been trying to embrace spending more time in the creative space. Recently, I started a little Etsy shop. I started selling some of the digital landscape prints that I've just been hoarding for years and years. I've spent a lot of time recently practicing my painting skills, just trying out different things that have to do with, blending colors and textures in different fun ways. For the longest time, I really didn't think of myself as an artist. I'm not one of those people who could just draw something that's super duper realistic. I could never just draw a picture of your face and make it look exactly like you. And I believed that just meant that I didn't have much artistic talent, other than just my photography. I always felt like I was creative as a person, I have very creative ideas, but I just was never able to create art in that way of just being very, very realistic. And as I have been attempting to let go of perfectionism, I have been embracing abstract work a lot. And actually, maybe 2 years ago at this point, I was on a trip with my boyfriend and we were painting as a little activity. And it kind of just, dawned on me. I had the epiphany that if I like creating art so much that I feel like I could do it every day, and if I like it enough to, put it on my walls because it makes me happy to look at, maybe it's worth it to share those creations with the world, and maybe someone else likes it enough to put it on their walls. So that's kind of how I've been living life recently, just kind of figuring out the world of a starving artist and what the heck to do with myself. But it has been really, really fun, really eye-opening. I've been learning a lot, and I am very excited to continue furthering myself into the creative space. I guess that kind of ties into why I'm starting a podcast. In addition to the art of photography and the art of painting, I believe in the art of music, the art of literature, the art of words, and the art of storytelling, which is kind of what I feel like I'm doing or attempting to do with starting the podcast. Essentially, I just want to be a part of all different types of art. I don't want to limit myself with any medium, and I've just had this urge to just speak up and speak out and tell my stories and share them with the world. And that urge just hasn't gone away. So it's probably time for me to just give in and lean into it and see where it takes me. I'm hoping that along the way, I just end up entertaining some people, maybe inspiring some people, or at just the end of the day, I hope that I make people feel a little bit less alone in just their experiences, just trying to be a human in this crazy world, because it is absolutely bonkers. That's just my take. But yeah, I want to speak up. I don't really do that very often in my personal life. That's something I struggle with. I'm just a bit of a people pleaser, and I'm much better at figuring out what you would like me to hear than actually portraying my own genuine thoughts. So I figured I might as well just not only step out of the comfort zone, but just like full on jump out of it, balls to the wall, and start speaking up and speaking out and sharing my stories with just the whole freaking world. Why not, right? We'll see how that goes. I hope that there's a little bit of personal growth sprinkled in there for me, but we'll see. I'm excited to just keep on learning, keep on talking. I'm a chatty Cathy. I can talk for a long time, so I'm glad that I am now giving myself an outlet to do that, because it is fun, it's enjoyable, and yeah, just telling stories is one of the most amazing, fun parts of life, I think. So I want to be a part of it. So here we are. So to kind of dive into different things, the different elements of this podcast and where they came from, the meaning behind them, I guess I'll go ahead and start with the name. The name Babe That's Bonkers is very, very intentional, very personal, something that I am really proud of and really excited about. The word babe comes from the show Grace and Frankie. If you've seen it, you know. It's a fun one. If not, you should watch it. But at a point in the show, there is this character named Babe, and she is just the kind of person who has traveled all across the world. She's the kind of person who has eaten food and danced and had conversations with anyone and everyone, just truly lived life to the fullest. She's had many adventures, and I want to be her when I grow up. I want to try anything and everything. I want to go anywhere and everywhere. That is my dream, to just travel and see everything that the world has to offer. So I want to be like Babe. I want to be a babe. I want to be the kind of person who takes the baby steps necessary to make her dreams come true. And that's the kind of community of people I want to build. All the babes out there in the world, all of you who are trying to make your dreams come true, welcome. This is the place for us to exist in and chit-chat with each other and just let go of expectations and just have some cool, honest conversations. So that's where the babe part of it comes from. The bonkers side of things, simply bonkers is one of my favorite words to say. I think that the consonants are so fun coming out of the mouth. They have a nice like mouth feel to them. That seems like something someone on a cooking show would say. Kind of weird, but whatever. But yeah, I just think the Brits have a better vocabulary than us, so I'm stealing from it. Like, it's not babe, that's crazy. It's babe, that's bonkers. Like, isn't that just so much more fun to say? They know what's going on over there, at least in the adjective department, I think. And a little bonus of just having a little bit of alliteration in there, the B and B, the babe, that's bonkers. It reminds me of Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter. I am a huge Harry Potter fan, absolutely love it. I was actually watching Harry Potter this morning. As we've kind of transitioned into fall, I have just been taking little steps to make the house feel more cozy. So I've been lighting candles, and I have been watching Harry Potter and just letting Harry Potter play in the background as I clean the house or work on the computer or whatever, and it's working. I feel so cozy and at home in my home. It's been wonderful, but that's kind of off topic. Back to Professor McGonagall. She is just the queen of alliteration, talking about the bunches of babbling baboons. I hope I didn't mess that up. I probably did, but that's okay. You get the gist of things. The character Babe, she was an inspiration to me. The word bonkers is super duper fun. Putting it all together has alliteration, honoring Professor McGonagall, just having a grand time overall. Yeah, that is the story of the name, and it kind of ties into just what I plan to talk about in the podcast, which is everything that's bonkers, whether that's something that's actually really normal and mundane but just like feels bonkers. Like, dishes really feel bonkers to me. The fact that they're such a huge part of our lives when there is just like, there's so many cool things to do and we have to spend so much time doing chores, like that's freaking bonkers. We'll have those types of conversations. We will also talk about bonkers things like going on nature hikes and learning things about caves and cool things, you know? But I'm already kind of jumping into just like what to expect topic-wise. Most of these episodes will be solo episodes with moi, just ranting and rambling about who knows what. This is kind of gonna be like a themed personal journal type podcast overall, so I'm gonna be sharing some life updates, life lessons that I'm learning, concepts that are just on my mind, and you know, I'm gonna be talking about topics that have to relate to whatever I'm interested, really, because this is my podcast, my show. I'm gonna talk about what I think is cool, and it's gonna be fun. God damn it, you know? But that's essentially just anything relating to holistic health and wellness, or maybe gardening, homesteading, growing plants in general. I really love to cook and bake and do arts and crafts, obviously. I love my photography and like painting, but I've also kind of learned to crochet and just love any sort of DIY project. Any opportunity to be creative, I want to take advantage of in my lifetime. So that's just kind of how I'm living things. That's the lifestyle I'm going for. But yeah, it's pretty much just anything and everything all at once. Just a whole Mod Podge smorgasbord of everything smushed together, but in a fun way, you know? And I do want to have some guests on, whether that's, you know, my partner or friends or family members, hopefully also some other people in the creative space. I would love to share other people's stories or just play some games with them to add a little bit of pizzazz to the show, you know, sprinkle in a little something something, if you know what I'm saying. And, you know, just take a break from listening to me rant and ramble about my life and whatnot. But that kind of brings us to a close. I have mentioned who I am, why I'm starting a podcast, what the podcast is gonna kind of consist of. You can watch the show every Thursday. You can also listen to it. Just depends on what you're feeling. I did pick Thursdays for a specific reason. It might just seem like a regular boring old day of the week to many people, but now it's not, because it's the day the podcast comes out. And I picked Thursdays because whenever I was a junior in high school, my wonderful, goofy language arts teacher, we had block schedule at the time, so we didn't have all of our classes every single day, and I had her class on Thursdays. So whenever we would come in, she would wish all of us a happy first Friday, because it was like her Friday lesson plan. It kind of felt like Friday for that class for her, and she just wanted to make sure that she wished us a wonderful, happy weekend, which I just thought was super duper sweet and special and fun. And I just want to have a little bit of that in my life. So we are now going to be celebrating First Friday every Thursday of the week by having a podcast episode come out. How fun is that? We just get to like hang out and get cozy and chit chat. It'll be a good time. So yeah, that's another little tidbit that's interesting. And now you know when to return for more content. Right now we are on Spotify, we are on YouTube, we will be on other podcast hosting platforms very, very soon, so we can just be as accessible as possible. If you are looking for more content, you can check out Studio Bonkers on Instagram, YouTube. They'll be linked below. That's where you can check out my artwork. If you just think that I'm like a super duper cool person that you want to get to know a little bit better, you can check out my Instagram at kay.ann.23, also probably linked below. What else? Let's see. It would be wonderful if you were to subscribe or leave a rating or review of some sort. That would be super duper helpful for my endeavors with this podcast, and I would really appreciate it. And what I would appreciate most is simply you tuning back in next Thursday for our first real full episode. It's going to be a super fun one because next week is Halloween, one of the best holidays, one of the most fun holidays. I am so excited to be sharing it with you, and we're going to be chit-chatting about just a bunch of different things pertaining to the spooky season, and it's going to be a good one. So get ready to get cozy and come on back for more. But until next time, bye babes.